What's going on, guys? So I'm very excited to talk about the 2020 Eagles schedule going into this year. It's pretty exciting because I went over this a little bit and have some thoughts about it. I'm not going to go over wins or losses or whatnot because you know what, I think the Eagles are still making a move or two in the offseason. I still think that other things are happening. But I'm going to give you a little bit of information after we're done with the schedule. We're going to go over all the teams we're facing and what we have to do to beat them and anything that's really important going throughout the season, and just seeing what's the easy, the hard parts of the schedule, and kind of going through all that. So let me get to the schedule and let's go over this right now. So week one, and this is the usual, guys. We are facing week one, September 13th, against the Washington Redskins. Okay, at 1 p.m. Now it looks like we've been opening up against them for the past few years, and going to Washington is really not a big problem because I think that it's pretty much home field advantage over in Washington. We really never they really don't sell out in tickets over there. We really got a nice crowd. The Green Legion usually goes there, so it's a few thousand Eagles fans, probably more than that, plus the people that live around there. So Ron Rivera's first Gabe. Obviously, the draft was pretty good for them. Chase Young, defensive end. I think the Redskins' defensive line is amazing. I think their linebackers are pretty good. Corner wise, they're iffy. Ronald Darby, but I think offensively, between McLaurin and Sims, I think that, and Geis, is Adrian Peterson has had our number. So I think running back wise, they have good depth there. You have Wendell Smallwood as well as he used to be with us, but they're not really using him too much. We'll see if they do something different this year. But I think they had an upgrade draft. I think that team is coming together pretty nicely. It's just really just putting the pieces together, and it's about good coaching. And I'm not saying that the Redskins are going to do anything this year, but it's going to be, the first game of every season of an opener or whatever, you're away or you're home or whatever. It's always a coin flip all the time because it's the first game. Usually the first game is always a coin flip. Um, so I think we're going to have a good time going over there. I think we'll really have no problem going over there. So that's it with week one. Now, week two, we face the Los Angeles Rams at Los Angeles at 1 p.m. Okay, September 20th. The Rams have been an overrated team for so damn long, even after that Super Bowl. Even that year when they went to the Super Bowl, it was very suspect because they were rolling over teams like it was nothing, and then changed their whole game plan, by the Super Bowl. And it was just a total mess. Overrated coach in Sean McVay. I think he's a horrible coach. And not even that, they're bad with contracts. They're getting rid of players. They pay too much for players, and their cap management's really bad. They're not good with numbers. Brandon Cooks signs there too a couple of years ago. Big deal. While he was injured, you sign him to a big deal, and then all of a sudden he gets traded. So it's just they've been wheeling and dealing like crazy to get a good roster together, but I think they had a very very short window, thinking that they had a new stadium, they had a pretty much going into a rented stadium for now on, and they were bringing in guys. It was going to be a new turnaround. Lost it from St. Louis to Los Angeles, a big turnaround in the name and a big turnaround for the city in general. So I'm not, I think the Los Angeles Rams, regardless of what their defense looks like, I think we pretty much take them every time. I think other teams are pretty much figure out their blueprint. Double teaming Aaron Donald, the defensive line didn't really get better. Aaron Donald gets doubled and everybody else gets taken care of. So it seems like there's really nothing there. Jared Goff, I haven't been a fan of Jared Goff. Thank God he's not an Eagle to this day. So really, I really don't have anything really good to say about the Rams, and not really something that's it is what it is. But I think they're definitely a beatable team for the Eagles this year, home or away, and we've played there the past couple times. So week three, September 27th, against the Cincinnati Bengals. Well, it looks like we're going to be seeing Joe Burrow and what he has. AJ Green, that was AJ Green got franchise tagged at 31, 32 years old. I don't know why. John Ross is last year with that team. You got, another guy, a speed guy. I thought they would have been their deep threat, but didn't work out. It's been injured a lot. Cincinnati's got holes all over the place. They really do. They went to free. They're not really big spenders in free agency either. But the Bengals have just, I mean, between their coaching, their front office, that they're a total mess right now. So I don't know. I pretty much have us, winning in Cincinnati. We got killed by them the last time we faced them. This was during the Chip Kelly days. It might have been 2015, and correct me if I'm wrong. We haven't faced them in a few years, so um, I literally, I don't know. The Bengals are nothing to mind. They're nothing that's going to really pop out and be like, oh my god, this is a team we have to watch out for. So the Bengals are probably a winnable game, definitely, even if we are away. Now, week 4 is interesting. Sunday night game, October 4th at San Francisco, the 49ers. Okay. This is going to be the game where we have to show it. Okay. This is going to be that game like we face a couple teams that are definitely winnable teams. You could be 3-0 coming to this game. San Francisco still has a lot of weapons. Lose one of their defensive linemen for the 13th overall pick to the Colts. And they're looking to get back to the Super Bowl, so you're gonna have to face this team and play them very hard. I mean, this is gonna be on national television, which is gonna be great because I want the whole world to see what the Eagles have to bring to a pretty good team. You know what I mean? So we're gonna see what happens at this point. Marquise Goodwin could have his little revenge game if he's still on the roster by this time. But the San Francisco 49ers are an excellent team, and I have nothing bad to really say about them. They're trying to get back to where they want to be. They made a few moves, but obviously they've made their roster better, and they've done a really good job with this offense that they have. Am I a big fan of Jimmy Garoppolo? Not really, but he's definitely, if you put the right weapons around him, I think he flourishes pretty nicely. So there is our first primetime game Sunday night against San Francisco 49ers. Now, week 5, you are going to Pittsburgh, okay, against Pittsburgh Steelers, 1 p.m. Steelers are another team that's kind of looking for their identity. Ben Roethlisberger is coming back. Don't know how long he's going to be back, but they're just kind of like, they're either going to make it or they're not going to make it. I don't know if they have the roster fully. I mean, their defense has gotten better with a few trades, obviously in the secondary. So Pittsburgh could be that team, that we're gonna have to fight for. We haven't faced Pittsburgh in a while, so this is always one of those exciting games. I think going to Pittsburgh, I think there's gonna be a lot of Eagles fans in Pittsburgh, so I think it's gonna be pretty much either, might not even be half and half. You're probably gonna have a lot of Eagles fans during that game as well. So Pittsburgh's not a bad team. I think they're trying to find their identity right now, but they're kind of running out of time with the quarterback that's not going to be there much longer, and need to find that identity. So I like the Pittsburgh Steelers a lot. Now, week 6, we have the Baltimore Ravens, 1 p.m. We're going to be home, okay? And what I've noticed so far, this is going to be a very good team. I'm not a big Lamar Jackson fan. I haven't been. I don't think the guy could throw 40, 50 yards. The Eagles have had issues running against mobile quarterbacks. Obviously, Russell Wilson, and now Lamar Jackson. Lamar, I think, is a lot better when it comes to running around. They're both very good. But they picked up their defensive lines a lot better this year. They really didn't have to make too many moves. Obviously, Michael Brockers coming there, and then Calais Campbell traded with the Jaguars for a 5th-round pick. So defensive line is a lot better. They're pretty stocked right now. They're pretty packed with a lot of good talent. Earl Thomas is going through some stuff right now. Apparently, he's going through some stuff with his girlfriend. He got in trouble, actually, I think yesterday. And so there's a lot of stuff going on with him, but other than that, it's a good. I don't believe in Lamar Jackson. I don't think he's anything special, honestly. I think honestly, if you take the speed away from him as a quarterback, I think he's just an average quarterback. That's just me. I'm not a big Lamar Jackson fan. Never have been at all. Can he get throws? Yes. Is he consistent? Not really. So this is going to be a very good game. I think this is a much needed game to be at home. So this is going to be very good for us. I think it's a big advantage for us to be home against a very good team. So we're going to see what happens that week. Week 7, New York Giants. This is going to be a Thursday night game at home of what it looks like. It is going to be at home, 8:20 p.m. The Giants, Joe Judge, new head coach. Brought in a lot of pieces. Spent a lot of cap space, a lot of money. honestly, I don't know what the Giants are going to be this year because we've been owning the Giants for a while. I don't know what they're going to look like because they just need to fit the pieces. They better hope they have the right coaching staff. They better hope they have the right everything going on over there because now they just have to put the pieces together. I don't think they have an elite roster yet. Just because you spend all this money, it doesn't mean anything. You look at the New York Jets last year; they spent 123, 124 million in guaranteed money, and where did that roster do or go for 2019? Nowhere. Okay, bad play by the quarterback. Especially injuries as well. But when you pay guys and they're not playing, that's a huge difference there. But the New York Giants are another team where I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea what they're going to look like because they brought in so much new guys. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure where they're going to go. Now, week 8, you have another primetime game back-to-back. This goes from Thursday night to Sunday night the next week. So the Eagles will actually have extra preparation against the Dallas Cowboys, okay? Extra preparation for this game. You go Thursday to pretty much the next Sunday, okay? So you have a lot of preparation for this game, a lot of preparation. And Dallas Cowboys, you know what? I don't think their defense is anything special. I don't think they replaced Byron Jones with Darryl Worley. I don't think Darryl Worley is going to be anything special. I think he fits in with good pieces around him, but I don't think he's going to be anything that's going to stand out. Defensive line, Gerald McCoy. Gerald McCoy is washed up. Donnery Poe is washed up. The crackhead from the San Francisco 49ers that they signed that hasn't played since 2015 and has only been clean. It's been a big drug addict and has only been clean for 9 months. They gave him $4 million. So I honestly don't know where that's going because I don't think their defense is going to be anything special. I understand they drafted a corner, they drafted a safety, but it's all about how their draft picks are going to go. It depends if their coaching staff can get these guys in a position on the rookie years to really flourish with the Cowboys defense, but nothing's promising. Just because you draft somebody, nothing's promising. Just like us, whoever we drafted, nothing's promising. But the Dallas Cowboys are a team that's kind of, if one thing goes wrong, everything goes wrong, and that's just how it is over there. And with the Eagles, it's more of a resilient team that things can go really bad, but for some reason, when our backs are against the wall, we find a way to get out. So that's going to be an interesting game. I have us winning this game, obviously, right now. I would like to win this game, obviously, but it depends how much Dallas wants this game. And we're going to be home, so this is going to be even better, obviously. It's nice to have them home first. We haven't had them home first in a while. I know I'd rather probably play in Dallas, but it'd be nice to have the Eagles fans swarming around this and doing a good job. So after Sunday night, you have a bye week. So I think into week 9, you have a bye week, which is great. So I think that's pretty much half your schedule. Get the guys healthy, whoever's out. Try to get some guys back. Then you go into week 10 against the Giants again at 1 p.m. Then in week 11, you go to Cleveland. You go to the Cleveland Browns. And honestly, the Browns are, it doesn't matter who they sign every year. Baker Mayfield, I think, is one of the most overrated quarterbacks. Cleveland Browns, this whole NFC East should be beating Cleveland this year, regardless of what's going on. Cleveland is a joke. They really are. Their front office is a joke. Whoever they sign is a joke. Their coaching staff is a joke. Cleveland Browns are just nothing special in my eyes. So we'll go into week 12. Now, here is where it gets crazy. Okay, week 12 to week friggin' 15. This is where it gets kind of nuts. Kind of gets crazy after that, even with the Dallas Cowboys at week 16. But at week 12, you have the Seattle Seahawks at home, okay? The Eagles remember what happened the past couple times. We haven't won against Seattle since, 2009. I don't even remember the last time we won against Seattle. Of course, you had the wild card game last year, with Jadeveon Clowney, giving that dirty hit on Carson Wentz, giving him a concussion where McCown had to come in and try to do as much as he could. But we had no weapons in this game. I wasn't upset at that wild card game. Obviously, I was, upset about it, but I wasn't like really as much upset as I thought I wasn't going to be. Obviously, because we just didn't have enough. We had off the street guys. I mean, we just didn't have enough talent on the field. I mean, we pretty much had nobody. This was the 2019 was the worst year for the Philadelphia Eagles when it comes to injuries, and still won the East because of it, which is crazy. So we get another chance at Seattle at home. It's on a Monday night game, so it's going to be very exciting. Okay. Now, week 13, you go to Green Bay at 425. Okay. We've beaten Green Bay before. Okay, this is a year-to-year league. I understand that. Last year, a lot of Eagles fans didn't have us win against the Packers or the Bills last year, and we creamed both of them. We creamed both of them, mostly because of our run game. We won both of those games because of our run game. Miles Sanders had two great games, and Jordan Howard as well. So Green Bay, of course, you're facing Aaron Rodgers, but you know what? I think this team can handle the Green Bay Packers. I think they can. Obviously, they're kind of question of why they drafted a backup quarterback, thinking that Aaron Rodgers is not going to be there for a long time. Just see what they are by that time, if they're healthy or not. So that's going to be a pretty cool game to watch at 425, Week 13. Now, Week 14, you are home at 425 against the New Orleans Saints. Malcolm Jenkins comes back to the link for the first time since he was released. And it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a lot of emotion that game. Obviously, we haven't beat the Saints in a while either. That's another team we haven't beaten in a while either. They have a pretty loaded roster. They're set at pretty much every position. We're going to have a very tough game that game. That's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a very tough game. Drew Brees is there for another 2 years. You know what I mean? Malcolm Jenkins comes back to the link. I think that's what's going to be on everybody's minds that game. Obviously, it's like watching Brian Dawkins all over again going into a Denver Bronco jersey. It's going to feel pretty much the same way or almost the same way at that point. So it's going to be a tough game. Going into Week 15, Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals have made a lot of moves. They traded for DeAndre Hopkins. They got Christian Kirk. They got Larry Fitz. Kyle Murray's got a pretty good offense going into this year. They drafted. They got some offensive line this year, so we'll see how that works out. By that time, obviously, with this whole schedule, guys, injuries are another concern for all the teams. So, not everyone's going to be healthy during this week. Obviously, something is going to happen, but I hope to God, we're healthy at that time. So Arizona is trying to turn a corner, change a leaf, and get into winning football games again. And I think Kyle Murray is quick. I think, he's very small, but he's very quick. He's got his accuracy is pretty good at times. And he could run full throttle. He could run. So it's gonna be crazy. That game is gonna be nuts. And we're at Arizona as well. So can't wait for that game. Then you go back to Dallas in Dallas Week 16. 425. Obviously, hopefully by that time we win the East by Week 16. Hopefully it's done and over with by that time, but it never is every year, obviously. So that's going to be in Dallas. I like playing in Dallas more than home. I think we've won in Dallas more than winning home against Dallas, obviously, but just depends on injuries and who's there and what team has more momentum going into that game. If the Eagles are backed up against the wall, we're out of it, or we pretty much have to win this game to go get it. And then the last game, Week 17, is going to be home against Washington, which is nice. Our last game is a home game, which we never really have. Most of the time we are away last week of the season. But hoping that we get a win out of this, or we don't need to play anybody by that week. So that's what I'm pretty much hoping for. So other than that, guys, this schedule, I think it's got positives, it's got negatives. It's pretty much a mix. It's always a mix every year. But I think the most important time of this schedule, you look at Seattle, Green Bay, and New Orleans, and even Arizona, and then going back to Dallas. I mean, those last four, those 5 games right there are pretty important. That's the meat and potatoes of your schedule. That's a lot of, you have some good teams there. Okay, if the Eagles are going to have that resiliency to win these games, and I think that's where you're going to get from Week 12 to Week 16. Those are some tough games at the end of the year, okay? The Eagles need to do the right thing in 2020. We have lost too many games the past few years that we could have won. We have lost way too many games over stupid crap. there are times where we should have won certain games because bad quarterback play, bad offensive scheme, or a little bit of both. Or because of the offensive scheme, the quarterback is playing bad, or the route running. Carson Walsh and Mike Rowe are gone now, so Doug is pretty much has that Jedi Council around him now because it's him and he's got these offensive assistants, 7, 8, or 9 of them all around him now. So we need to win those games that we should win. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to lose against bad teams, and you don't want to lose against bad teams, and you know what I mean. It's just not good. It's not good. You know what I mean? So they need to win the games that they need to win, obviously, because we miss out on so many opportunities during games to get it in there, and we don't. We make a lot of mistakes. And injuries are probably the number one aspect of this season coming up, guys. Like, this is the third medical examiner the Eagles have hired in the past 3 years. And Howie Roseman said he already switched it a second time, and back in June. This was after the wild card game when Howie Roseman said this. I'm like, back in June. Now he's got to switch the medical examiner again, which he did. I think honestly, the injury bug, that's where it's going to affect our season, and where we control our own destiny at the end of the year. I think that's where it's going to be more important. So I think it's a pretty half good schedule. I think the first half is nice. The bye week at week 9 is fantastic, halfway mark. So I think we're pretty good there. But your meat and potato schedule is pretty much going to be week 12 to week 16, depending on how good Dallas is and how good Arizona is. I think you're going to have Seattle, Green Bay, and New Orleans. That's a tough schedule. That's going to show this team. Though those 3 games is going to show this team and show the world what this team is all about, especially at the end of the year. You know what I mean? But a win's a win in my book, no matter how we get it. Obviously. And that's pretty much it, guys. So I'm pretty happy with it. Obviously, you can't agree on the whole schedule. I think it's tough by the end of the year, but I think it's a pretty balanced out schedule in the beginning to the middle of the year. So I can't really complain at all what's going on. So if you guys have any questions, please leave a comment in the comment section below. I appreciate you guys watching today. So I will see you guys later. Shake Squad up. Fly, fly. Peace.